I'm Jamie Ruby, and welcome to Sci-Fi Vision Presents Severed Minds with my special guest, Marc Geller, and of course, co-host Karen, who's here, but is off camera right now. But welcome, Marc. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So if you have any questions, Marc, of course, plays Kier himself on Severance. And if you have any questions for him, please put them in the chat. Or you can also, hopefully you're in the chat, but if not, I've taken some questions off of Discord as well. But all right. So first thing I wanted to ask you is about how this is obviously a very different role because you're on screen more as an image than actually filming scenes. So talk about kind of how you became a part of the show and like what the audition process was like, that kind of thing, because I'm assuming it might have been different.
That was back in 2020. It's been a while now.
Oh, wow.
I was submitted for the part. I then went to the studio for a meeting, which was in Ben Stiller's office at the studio. And the people in the room were Ben Stiller, Dan Erickson, who created the show, and one of the producers. And I'm guessing we talked for 15 or 20 minutes about different things, just getting to know each other. And then I found out that they wanted me. And that's how I got the part as the image of Kier. However, about 6 months after that, when they decided to do the voiceover in the perpetuity wing that I do, I then had to audition again to be my own voice.
So they might have given somebody else your voice, even if it was your voice. That's hilarious.
Because they originally hired me for a visual, it was about pictures and stuff. So when it came up, I got an email and they said, "Are you interested in auditioning to do the voice?" And I said, "I am." And so I made a tape of the perpetuity voiceover and sent it to them. And then they said, "Okay, you're the voice now too."
Now, I assume that, because I know I got a question from Criterion Haver who asked about your headshot. I'm assuming that you might have sent a headshot in before the actual audition that they brought you in, or did you just come in kind of blind and they didn't know what anybody was?
Oh, no. It wasn't like an open call or anything like that. Okay. I was submitted, so they saw what I looked like. And then they called in several people. I remember when I was in the waiting room, actually, to go in, there were at that moment when I was there were about 10 other guys. I assume there were a lot more throughout the day before me and after me, but I saw a lot of other people. So,
did they look like you though, or did they really not have any idea at that point what they were doing?
We were all around the same age, but we were all different types.
Okay. That's interesting. All right. And Karen, I can't see whether you have a question or not since your face isn't on the screen, but do you want to ask something?
I know. I just really thought it was best to keep my flu off screen
and my that's all good.
Sniffly nose and runny eyes off screen today. So I'm interested, Marc, in the amount of time that you're able to spend with any of the other cast and crew, really.
The people that I've actually worked with in person on the show would be Britt Lauer, Adam Scott, Tramell Tillman. Who else have I worked with live? Tramell, Britt, Adam. Yule, who played Petey. I was there with him live. I think just those four that I've actually been in the studio live with.
Yeah. And then I had a second question for you about like the mannequin of Kier, and what's like having somebody create a mannequin of you. It made me. I'm thinking about that famous Seinfeld episode when there's an Elaine mannequin, if you've ever seen that. But what it was like, having your process of having these images and things created of you. Do you come into the studio? Do they, make painting, somebody sit and paint you and things like that?
I originally, back in, I think it might have been October of 2020, went into the studio during COVID. We were still wearing masks, I remember, and those little plastic shields. And I did a photo shoot that lasted about 10 hours, during which my beard was even bigger than this, and my hair was very long because it was COVID and I was just growing it. And I thought the show might be able to use it for something. So I went in for this photo shoot, and they had a couple different outfits for me, and some of the things you've seen in some of the paintings, like Civil War outfits and swords and all that kind of thing. And over a period of like 10 hours, they photographed me in every possible configuration. But during that time, they very slowly, makeup and hair people, cut my beard down to less and less, and cut my hair down less and less, and dyed my hair and beard black. So they have me at all ages. So by the end of the photo shoot, I had short black hair and I was clean shaven. So they have pictures of me in
All
every
different versions.
configuration.
Wow. And it looks like you've been growing that beard back ever since that day, huh?
Actually not. No, this hasn't not been growing that long. It grows very quickly.
I was going to say Scarlett had a question. I guess that answers it about were the paintings designed then? They weren't designed beforehand. They all came from after they took these photos of you.
Every painting in the show and every sculpture and stuff is done actually of me, you know, from photos they did or from seeing me in person. We even did in the beginning, before I went for the big photo shoot, we did a couple of Zooms just so the art department could see me and get started on some things. The Four Tempers painting was the very first thing we did.
Oh, cool.
With the whip.
It's such a unique thing, I think, to be on screen so much without actually being on screen. Yeah. And by the way, Karen, if you need to, interrupt me to ask something, since I can't tell if you're trying to, please just do.
Sure.
But
sure.
Dramatic Chipmunk says, how do you feel about your character not appearing live on screen, but somehow also being ever present throughout the show?
Well, of course, I'd love to appear live, but unfortunately, he's dead. So unless they decide they would like to do flashbacks or something, I can't see how I could appear live. So, we shall see, but it's fun.
All right. Let's see. Oh, they also asked, let me see, was that the same person? Yeah. Did you get to take any of the Kier artwork home since it's based on you?
No, because they may still need it. You never know until the end of the series what they're going to need. When the series is over, I don't know if they'd let me have anything, but if they would, I'd gladly take it. There's a lot of stuff.
There is a lot of stuff. I know. I've seen a lot of your posts on Facebook of the different things.
There's the brass figure. There's a great big statue that's outside in the courtyard. There's the bust. There are all the paintings. There's a belt buckle. There's a lot. The marshmallows. There's so many things.
Well, let me ask you this. If they did let you pick one, what would you want to take to keep for yourself? I don't know that you want like a life-size statue, but
if I could just pick one thing, probably one of the paintings, maybe the original thing in the cave, taming the Four Tempers, maybe that one.
All right, fair enough. Karen?
I want to paraphrase Kathleen's question. Kathleen Gillingham is hopes that they would split the show up as with Yellowstone and give us a backstory series, an origin series with Kier. Would you be up for that?
That would make my day. I would love that. That would be a dream come true.
For you and for all of us to be able to see that.
Yeah, make people go even further down this rabbit hole, right?
At this point, I'm kind of like Severance's version of Charlie on Charlie's Angels.
True.
That's right. He was mostly just the voice coming out of
just the voice. Yeah, you never saw him.
Yeah.
He was like the board.
The board.
Yeah.
So whoops, I took it off. Must have been right when you did. So do you read people's crazy theories about this show?
I've read some.
What's kind of like and obviously you can't tell whether everything's real or right or not, but what's like been kind of the craziest theory that you've seen?
Oh,
if there's any truth in it.
Craziest theory I saw recently was that we were all aliens, and they were observing the workers at Lumen to learn about humans or something like that.
Oh, there's some out there. I was just gonna say, by the way, I forgot to mention for people that I did put Marc's Instagram across the bottom. That's what's scrolling. So make sure that you do check him out on Instagram.
There I am.
When we're done. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. People can see it, but now they know.
Follow me.
Yes, follow it. Let's see.
Well, and Diane.
Okay, go ahead.
Diane, this is a popular theory. Dead. That remains to be seen. Is Kier really dead? There are a lot of theories around about could this be a cloning program? and maybe we'd see a clone version of Kier someday. Or maybe there are a lot of theories about perhaps your consciousness being passed down through your descendants and things like that. Those are popular. If you're on the Reddit boards, you've probably seen them all, right?
I've read all of those, yes.
So do you have your own theory? And obviously you can't tell us anything whether it's true or not, but what would be your best theory? Like, what do you think's going on?
Quite honestly, I don't know everything. So I really couldn't tell you anyway, even if I did know, I couldn't tell you, but I don't know everything.
So you come up with your own idea?
I have thoughts in my mind about what it could be, but I'm kind of learning along with you.
That's fair. That's fair. Usually I ask if they tell you things or you have to make it up, but since you haven't actually had any scenes, it doesn't really, you're just the face. So it works.
Face and the voice.
Yeah, the face and the voice. Scarlett asked, what is your favorite Kier line or line about him? It doesn't have to be one you've had, but line about Kier.
Favorite line about Kier? Good question. I honestly don't. Oh, you know what? I love the song that Patricia sang and the way she sang it. The Kier, that song.
Yeah, I was going to say, All City asked what you thought of her singing performance. So I guess
she was fantastic. I loved it.
That was a lot of fun.
I think she's fantastic. She's a wonderful actress, and I thought she did a great job with the song.
I know you said you only worked with a couple of them on, in the studio, but did you meet them outside of the show at all?
I've met Trammell outside of the show. I actually saw him in a play since we've wrapped. I think the only person I've met outside of the studio is Trammell.
All right, fair enough. Do you want to pick one, Karen?
Sure. I'm going to go to Denise in the chat, who's interested in what's your reaction to seeing those images of yourself and the statues and the Kier dolls when you visit.
It's very surreal. It's great. I mean, I love it. I tune in every week to see what new images of me there are too. I don't always know because some things I know are being done because I've posed for them and such, but other things I don't know about until I see them.
Oh yeah, you're not getting a script weekly like the main cast does. So you just if you watch it on Fridays and Saturdays, like the rank and file fans.
I watch it every week, just like everybody else. Although I have to say, I've only seen each episode once. I haven't seen them multiple times. But,
Unlike us.
but I do watch them weekly. Like a couple of surprises recently. In season 1, I was surprised when I saw the Kier doll on Ms. Cobell's bed, the rag doll. And then this season, I was surprised when I saw the kind of Kier plushie toy that the kids of Dylan's kids were playing with.
Yeah, always shows up in interesting places. What about, let me ask you this, and I know you keep,
sorry.
You cook things at the same time I do.
Those things, by the way. I'd like that rag doll and that plush toy.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Oh, I think they could make a lot of money selling those to fans.
Probably. Merchandising ops. What do you think about the baby Kiers in the opening credits? That is crazy. Love the baby Kiers.
With the snow in his hair. I love baby Kier.
What did you think when you first saw it, though? Like, what was your reaction?
Well, it's funny because the first time that they showed it, I think it was episode 2 was the first time they have that opening sequence.
Yeah.
Because they do it in the first episode of season 2. I didn't notice it. And then someone told me about it and I went back and watched again. And I was like, oh, look at that. There's baby Kier.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think the fans noticed everything. So.
Fans seem to dissect every single second of it. I'm not quite that observant, but
yeah. Let's see. I'm looking to see through the chat.
Here's one from Denise. When you went in for the audition and when you were cast, did you expect to have more on-screen time? Did you know going in that he was going to be dead and you were really auditioning?
I knew he was dead, and when I first went in initially, all I was told was that I would be the subject of a painting. Probably the one that's in MDR on the wall. It's always there over the books. I think that's probably the painting they were talking about. And then that grew into lots of paintings and wax figures and statues and busts and voiceovers, but all I knew for sure in the beginning was it was going to be a painting.
Oh, interesting. So it's really grown a lot.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
hope it will grow more.
Yeah.
Now I know that you've put on your Facebook, I saw some, like, if I can get it out of my mouth anyway, that people have made some fan pictures and different things and fan art. Like, what's that been like, seeing that and having that happen?
That's actually great. We have unbelievable fans and really talented fans, and there's been so much fan art. A lot of it has been sent to me, which I really appreciate. And there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 of them so far I have hanging on my wall.
Oh, wow.
Framed because they're really good.
Yeah, I remembered seeing some of them, and I remembered the gingerbread house too. That's really cool.
Oh, speaking of the gingerbread house, that artist sent me the gingerbread Kier in the mail, and I actually have it.
Oh, that's really cool.
She did a very good job packing it up, and it didn't break because it really.
I was going to say, we would think it'd end up in pieces by the time they get there.
Yeah, but she sent me that, and it's really nice. She did a great job. She didn't send me the house and everything, just Kier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it still looks cool anyway, right?
Yeah, it is. It's great looking.
All right. So Justin says, can you tell us about your latest day in the booth with the Dieter monologue, and how did that session go? For the
Dieter monologue. What would you like to know about it? I'm not sure what you want to know.
Well, I was going to say, why don't you tell us, what was that experience like recording that in the studio, I guess?
Well, similar to recording the Perpetuity Wing voiceover, Ben pretty much just tells me what he wants in terms of the age of Kier at the time and how sickly Kier is at the time. And for the Perpetuity and pretty much for Dieter, he's supposed to be very old and on his deathbed. So, my voice is more of a, when I went into the cave, I found, that kind of thing, because he's close to death.
So we don't talk to, when we interview cast from different shows that we cover, we don't really cover a lot of voice acting. We're usually talking about, their performance, among the cast. Could you tell us a little bit about how challenging it is to maybe act just with a microphone? How do you draw inspiration for voiceover work and things like that?
Well, for this, it's just basically what Ben's saying to me.
Yeah. It's not like you're lying in a bed.
I'm not interacting with
it. Yeah.
For the Perpetuity Wing, I was standing in a Midtown studio, and Ben was sitting at a desk next to me, and there was a studio technician behind a glass, and they were just telling me if they needed it to be faster or slower, or how to fit into a certain exact number of seconds for the time frame they needed, things like that.
Yep. That's cool.
We have a couple people in here that know you.
Oh.
Bruce says that he worked with you at Arena Stage 2 years ago when you did Ride the Cyclone.
I know.
You were incredible in that show and such a great actor. So there, Bruce Perry.
Yeah, and that was in 2023, January, exactly 2 years ago right now. I did Ride the Cyclone at Arena Stage, which was a great experience, playing a character named Karnak, who was actually like a Zoltan machine, the little guy in the booth that gives you fortunes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
So I was a robot, basically. It's interesting. I was a robot in that. And now I'm a wax figure in this. So maybe that's where my career is going. I'm going to be inanimate.
I'm not sure what that says about you. But...
I specialize in inanimate objects.
Yeah. Diane Manister says they worked with you in Cabaret.
In California. Diane is a wonderful actress. Played Fräulein Schneider. And I played Herr Schultz in a production of Cabaret.
All right. Well, they said you were great to work with and talented, so they enjoyed that as well.
Which is interesting because a pineapple is a major figure with the characters in that show, and now we have pineapples on Severance. So pineapple into my life in different ways.
Yeah, pineapple.
You were
don't know what the pineapple means yet, but and let's see. Sally said that she saw you in Cabaret and thought you were great. So.
Thank you, Sally.
It's nice that we have so many fans of Severance who are also supporting the stage.
It is.
Do you have something else that right now that you're working on that you're promoting that you want?
I'm in a film that's streaming right now on Max called A Different Man. It's a film that Sebastian Stan stars in. It's actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Makeup and Hair currently. I have a small role in that. I'm in 2 scenes, one at the very beginning and one at the very end. Play a character called Ragged Man. And that was a lot of fun to work on and a really, really good experience. And it's a really good movie. So if you're looking for something to watch on Max, watch it.
Yes, we'll have to
Sebastian
watch
Stan.
that and look out for you in that. Let's see. Anna G asks, and you probably can't answer this, but maybe you can tell us your opinion. Why was Ambrose the black sheep of the family? Do you have any thoughts, even if you couldn't tell us anyway? What do you think about it?
Why was Dieter the black sheep of the? Oh, Ambrose, you said.
Yeah, he says Ambrose was the black.
Oh, Ambrose. Why was Ambrose is, yeah, that's true. I haven't got a clue.
All right.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yep.
Same boat with the rest of us.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. Scarlett says you have piercing blue eyes.
Thank you, Scarlett.
Some of these are just comments. All City, who always has something funny to say, asked if you've ever been in a rock band.
Have I ever been in a rock band? No, I'm not a singer, so no. And I don't play an instrument, so.
Maybe you just need to do the cover art for a rock band. They can use your image, right?
I can just use my image. I can be an inanimate object for a rock band next.
All right. Bruce asked, and I know you said you can't tell whether you are going to ever be in there, but you don't have any. I was going to say, you said you would come back, though, if they wanted you to come back, I guess is the most you can say.
In a second. I'd be there before they ask me.
Well, hopefully we'll see some kind of flashback at some point.
Yeah, it'd be great. I would love if they did some flashbacks. As a viewer, I would love to see some Kier flashbacks.
Yeah, I think we all would.
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh yeah, there's so much curiosity about the cult of personality that really has developed around Kier. Cult like following, almost like a religion, right? But so much more. I think we'd all love to see that, yeah. And also, if we could ever see how Kier started Lumen and all of that would be fantastic. Also, I know you can't tell us, right? But
we're gonna have to do an entire spin-off show called Kier, the origin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Scarlett says that wants to see Kier and Imogen in a spin-off. That would be great.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you talked earlier about the wax figure. You didn't do like a mold or anything, right? They just did that from site, or did you do like a casting for it?
We took a ton of very specific pictures of my face,
okay.
Every possible angle. I think there were about 40 or so different shots. Head on, left, right, a little bit more left, a little bit more right, from the top, from the bottom, from the side. So they have every possible thing of my face. I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume they probably took all those photos and put them into some kind of program and made a 3D image. That's what I would assume.
Probably. But that's probably a lot more fun than doing an actual cast of it. That's why I asked.
Yeah. I didn't have to have plaster put on my face or anything.
Yeah. Let's see. Denise said, what percentage of TV and screen work versus stage work do you do?
Prior to 2018, it was pretty much all stage work. I started pretty much auditioning for film and television in 2018. And then after COVID, I did mostly film and TV and just a little bit of stage, like the show at Arena Stage. But so now I do mostly film and TV and a little stage. I used to do all stage.
Well, you made that jump just in time before, everybody went dark for so long during COVID. So
yeah,
you were just in time. Do you miss it?
Do I miss doing things on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. It's very kind of apples and oranges. It's
yeah.
I like the immediate response on stage, obviously. But it's very different. And I still do it. I don't not do it anymore.
What is something that you still really like to do? Like if you could be anybody in a show, a character, type of character, whatever, what's your ultimate dream role that you'd love to have?
My ultimate dream role? Well, what you were just saying, they should, if they did a Kier spinoff, that would be my ultimate dream role. That would be fantastic. My ultimate dream role, I don't know. On stage, I've played a lot of the parts that I wanted to play. So I've checked a lot of those boxes off.
That's cool.
Film and TV, it's hard to say because it's original. So I don't know what those are because they don't exist yet.
Yeah. Colleen says Kier the origin. That's what we need. I agree. So let me ask you then, saying that you've done a lot of the ones you've wanted to do outside of this show, what's been your favorite that you've done?
On stage or TV?
Either. Just whatever. What's been your favorite out of all of them other than?
Oh, wow. Well, I really enjoyed doing Ride the Cyclone, the thing I did recently at Arena. That was a really great experience with really great people all around, and a lot of fun in general. It's a musical, and I'm not a singer, and my character didn't have to sing, but it was 6 people in their 20s and then me. And the 6 people in their 20s all sang, and they were phenomenal performers, each and every one of them. And I basically got to sit there and watch them do the show every night since I was in a booth. And that was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Do you want to pick one, Karen? I'll let you pick one.
Actually, I wanted to ask, we're pretty excited about the new Daredevil series. Is it true that you have a guest spot coming up in the new season?
I'm listed on IMDb.
Yeah, I'm sure if he does, he can't say anything about it. It's Marvel.
Okay. I didn't realize that was such a big spoiler, but we're excited for that. We'll keep an eye out for you.
Yes, we will hope it's correct. Internet Movie Database is not always correct, but we can hope it's correct.
You can hope it's correct.
You can hope it's correct.
You can hope it's correct when it mentions episode 3.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do you then.
All right. Great.
It's with film and TV though. Until you see it, you're not sure you're in it.
That's a good point. They cut so many things
out of anything.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to people before where they intended to be in something and weren't.
Yeah.
I've been proud of things. One of very early on in my film and TV things, which wasn't that long ago, about the 3rd thing I did, I think. It was coming on, and I was very excited because I hadn't done that much film and television, and I sent emails to everyone telling them to watch, and I was totally cut out.
Oh, that really stinks.
Oh.
At least you probably got paid, though. I'm assuming that's the good thing, right?
You get paid when you do it.
Yeah,
whether it's in there or not.
Yeah. Marc, you've done a lot. Oh, go ahead, Jamie. You had a comment.
I don't know if he got to go in it, but they want to know how you liked Milchek's set.
How I liked what?
Milchek's set. I was gonna say I don't know if you were physically in there, but what do you think of Milchek's set?
You mean his office?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what they mean. Yeah.
I like his office. I love the fact that there's this really beautiful sort of bronze frieze of my face right behind his desk. I don't know if you've noticed it or not because it's dark, so it's kind of hard to see. There's this square.
I was gonna say, I think we've talked about it in our we take screen captures before we do our breakdowns. Yeah. I remember going over it, so we definitely noticed it. Sorry, Karen, go ahead. It's hard when I can't see your face to know if you're starting to talk.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, Marc, you have a long career, both on the stage and now in TV and movies, have you said, since about 2018. But Kier, it's funny that Kier feels like, even though you're playing a dead guy, he's sort of like this is a very high profile kind of thing. Are people recognizing you on the street now as Kier, praising you when you try to just go out and buy a hamburger?
Not so much. And I think that's because since I'm not live, people's minds don't make the connection to seeing a live person. I think if you took that wax figure and put it in a restaurant, people would make the connection, but I don't think they necessarily connect me to it yet.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, then you still have your privacy, so that's nice.
More than enough privacy. I could use less.
Okay. It'll come. It'll happen.
Do you want to pick one, Karen?
Yeah. So our friend. This is our friend Scarlett, right? Wild Marjoram.
You clicked on the wrong one, but yes.
Wrong one. Here it is. Mark, do you have a favorite musical?
Do I have a favorite musical? I have a lot of favorite musicals. As far as things that are playing now, I really love Hadestown. I think that's a great musical. I have lots of others too that, yeah, I enjoy musicals, even though I'm not a singer. So I think Cabaret is a wonderful musical. Oh, there are so many. But as far as things playing now, I really enjoyed Hades.
Right. Great. Yeah, that's something that we can still get out and see, a lot of us.
Yes.
Cool.
I was going to say, Scarlett also asked me earlier, what's your favorite of the four tempers? Which, to refresh your memory, are woe, frolic, dread, and malice. I wrote it down. So,
my favorite in terms of just the concept of them, or the four dancers who were performing them.
I don't know. However you want to answer it. That's all she asked me. What was your least? Oh no,
I love all those.
Least favorite temper. I'm sorry, I didn't even read it right.
Oh.
Which is your least favorite temper? But I don't know. Maybe you can tell us both. What's your favorite and what's your least favorite there?
I try to enjoy each temper equally.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer there.
So diplomatic.
Yes, of course. Let's see. Bruce would like to see them bring Kier back and have you have a scene with Patricia Arquette. That would be great.
I agree, Bruce. Let's do it.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Do you think Kier would support the waffle party? That was another one of Scarlett's.
I do. I support the waffle party. So I think Kier would.
I was going to say, we have a lot of praise Kiers in the chat.
Oh, that's another favorite thing. The waffle party mask of me. I love that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Of the images of me on the show, I think that one looks the most like me. I really like that image.
That's cool. I was going to say, Waldo says they didn't realize you were the ragged man and a different man, but you were so good in that part.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's see.
That's still outstanding on the list of things to see before the Oscars on Sunday night.
It's about as different from Kier as possible. It's polar opposites.
Well, he for starters, he's alive, right? So
he's alive. He's alive and he's homeless. So he's not at all Kier-like.
Yeah, no. Denise says, do you have any stage roles coming up?
I do not, as of right now, no.
We'll just have to.
Why? Do you have a job, Denise? Do you have something for me?
I don't know, Denise, maybe she's a casting agent. She also has a comment about what was behind your switch to TV and film between transitioning from the stage. Was that a calculated move that you wanted to make in your career, or did it just evolve that way?
It just evolved that way. It was something I had always wanted to do, but I never really had the opportunity, the way things worked out. And then things changed and they did work out. So it's a strange business. Things happen in strange ways, I find.
Well, it seems like it like that line between the stage and then TV and film has really blurred or gone away in the last, I don't know, decade or two or longer, right? There used to be like a million years ago, the stage was serious and TV was not.
Right. Yeah, there was a huge line between film and TV a while back, but that's pretty much gone. I think everyone does TV now, but that was looked down upon for film people for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now so many films are produced by TV studios and streamed that isn't a thing anymore, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Denise is not a casting agent, but wishes she was. So
You become one, Denise.
Yeah, Fletcher has a question, and I know you can't tell us the real answer, but do you think, in your own personal opinion, is Dieter real? I think it's part of Kier. I don't think he's real, but I know a lot of people do. So what is your stance on that?
What if I actually am Dieter right now?
Some people think Kier is gone and Dieter's the one. So yeah,
that's interesting. I hadn't seen that theory before. But
yeah,
whatever the truth is, I'm both of them. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I guess it's a good thing if they ever put Dieter in, you're his twin. So it's good for you either way, right?
You're stuck with me.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I can say I play two people on the show.
That's a good point. Looking to see, we have a couple more. Scarlett says, do you have any hobbies?
Do I have any hobbies?
Yeah, I'm sure you have some, but do you have any hobbies you want to talk about?
Not at length. I do have hobbies. I like taking pictures. I like doing photography. What other hobbies do I have? I don't know if you consider it a hobby. I like traveling. That's basically it. I don't have a lot of hobbies.
Cool.
No, but photography is another creative hobby there. You're another creative endeavor.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What kind of stuff do you watch? Like, what do you enjoy to watch on television, movies, that kind of thing? Like, what are you into?
I'm a huge horror movie fan and thriller fan. Not so much slasher things as psychological horror. My favorite film is Rosemary's Baby. Would be my favorite film of all time. What do I watch? Similar things. I watch Silo on Apple TV. Actually, I watched the show From. Do you watch that one?
That's what Fletcher asked. He said, have you watched From? That's where this kind of whole group originally came from. We were all
that's kind of my thing. All that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much every name I recognize in our chatter tonight are part of the big From fan base.
Yeah, I think they started there, and then we all got into Severance. Yeah, it was some of them that talked me to watching Severance. I'm so glad they did, because I know me and Karen are I mean, we've seen it all now, but we're newer this, after the first season. So
From finally started to answer some questions this past season.
Yeah, I know. I keep telling people they're going to get answers to Severance too, maybe more questions, but we'll have to see. Let's see. Sally says, have you ever directed plays or musicals?
I have. When I was primarily just doing theater, my career was kind of split in half. I was like 50% acting and 50% directing. So I have.
Have you ever directed yourself? No, I'm going to ask.
I actually have, yeah. And that's I don't
make it easier or harder. Okay.
It's not a good idea. I think it would be considered. I don't know this for a fact because I've never done it, but I would think it would be considerably easier to direct yourself in film and television than it would be on stage because you can see it. You can go back and watch it and then redo it. But I don't recommend doing that, even though I have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to do both.
Do you do much comedy, or you consider yourself mainly a dramatic actor?
No, I do a lot of comedy. I love comedy. I even did improv for a while, and I've done a lot of comedy.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look some of it up.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm looking at his IMDb.
There's an episode that I really like of the television of The Onion. Do you know The Onion?
Yeah.
There's an episode of The Onion that you can find online that I did that I really like. It's a show on The Onion called Today Now, and I play a psychic medium called Kenneth Quinn, who's kind of sort of like a fake psychic medium. And it's a really funny episode. I really like that a lot. But I did do that, and I did the Eric Andre show. I did an episode of that. So I've done some comedy things, yeah.
Cool. We'll have to look for that. Well, I've seen if there's any more we missed. Because I know you probably have to go. We've kept you pretty long. Diane says, who do you think the scariest person is on Severance?
Me.
That's a good answer.
I'm the scariest person I know.
I mean, really.
On Severance after me, I'd say Ms. Cobell would be the
okay. That's good. Yeah.
So the scariest person is you, and the second scariest person is your most devoted. She's either the most devoted follower, or it's sort of a cover, and she hates him the most. I can't really decide where.
Well, she seemed like she was my most devoted follower until she destroyed my shrine. That hurt.
I was just going to say, though, do you think about that? And probably all you're going to hear after the show, once people do start recognizing you more, are going to just be like, praise Kier. You're going to get that everywhere you go. It'll probably after a while be annoying.
Going back to something else, that picture of me in the shrine that's in the center, where I have black hair and a black beard, that's from that photo session. And that actually is what they did that day, where they dyed my hair black and dyed the beard. So that's not altered. That's one of the photos they took.
Very cool. see. I lost what I was going to click on. Oh, Fletcher wants to know what your from theories are.
My from theories?
Yeah, I guess that you could answer without getting in trouble, right? Because it's not your show.
I could if I had any. I could. I'm not a big theory person. I just kind of, watch it and like finding things out as it goes along. I don't try to overthink it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Fletcher did have one more question about Severance. Let's see. What do you think there's a possibility that there's more than two mind splits in Severance due to the four tempers of Kier? Any howdy thruple and maybe a fourth one?
I don't understand the question.
I think the question is,
they can split minds more than 2 times in Severance.
So someone could be like 3 people?
Yeah, or 4 people. He's saying because there's 4 tempers. I guess
okay. I had never thought about that. It doesn't sound very feasible to me, but who knows? It seems like anything is possible in the Severance universe.
Yeah. So I don't know, you probably can't answer this, but are we going to be getting to see any more new pictures or images or anything coming up in the last few that you're allowed to?
I'm pretty sure there's more art. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more art you haven't seen yet. I think there's more art that I haven't seen yet. So yeah.
Very cool.
I would say
yes.
yes.
I was going to say you can have already done it, and there can still be art for seasons to come yet.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more. I'm not 100% sure, but it seems logical to me that there's more, and I know that there must be more. Yeah.
Fair enough.
There may not be. Then you'll be like, well, he's a liar. But
no, sure.
I assume there's more.
They have that whole, they have stacks of paintings, right? Just because we haven't seen them. So
they have a lot of paintings of me. Yeah. And they have multiple versions of paint, like the Civil War painting of me, the one that I think you saw it again this season in maybe episode 2 when Irving went to talk to Felicia and the big Civil War painting was standing on the table and
they had changed it.
Design. There are several versions of that painting. They had several different artists. They do this a lot, I think. I don't know that for a fact, but I think they have several different artists do different versions of the same thing. But I've seen, I think, at least 4 versions of that Civil War painting done by different people.
Oh, wow. Cool. Very cool.
I guess then they pick the one they think is the best.
Yeah, but sometimes they change them, though, so they could have more than one. You don't know. Okay, we'll do one. Let's do one more. I know it's getting late. What's this? I feel like maybe you answered this, though. What the painting, statues, belt buckles, cartoons, so many things. Which was your favorite? Oh, you picked out what you'd want to keep. So I guess it could be a cartoon even, too. Do you have a favorite image that's on there?
You mean of the things we talked about before? Yeah, I would.
Of any of them that you've seen.
I would keep the waffle party mask. I would keep the bust. I would keep the rag doll. I would keep the plush toy. I would keep the belt buckle if they gave me it.
There's a lot.
I'll take it all. They can just put it all in a U-Haul and send it over to my apartment.
You'll have to have a one room. I don't know if you have any roommates or anybody living with you, but you may have to confine your personalized decor to one room.
No, I don't. I live alone. It's a small apartment, so it wouldn't all fit in here. But I guess after Severance, I could open a Kier museum in my apartment if I needed money.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Let people tour.
Well, Karen, do you have anything else? We don't want to.
I don't. I mean, we've kept Marc for a while. We're so appreciative of your time.
That's okay. I have nothing else tonight, so you can ask all the questions you want.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe we have. Okay, Fletcher's asking about taking pieces home. He answered that earlier before you got here. Let's see. I think other than just people asking random questions, I think we got most of them.
So I have just one more question. You mentioned that you enjoy photography, and earlier in our conversation, you mentioned that you had to sit for like a 10-hour photo shoot when you were first kicking off the show. Did you enjoy? Was it more enjoyable? Like, did your interest in photography help you to? It sounds kind of grueling to do a 10-hour photo shoot.
I love being photographed. I love being photographed, so it wasn't grueling at all. And they couldn't have been more considerate, or kinder. They always made sure I had food and I had water and I wasn't tired. And it's a really great show to work on, and everybody on it is really lovely and they're really nice to work for.
Great. That sounds really nice. They're really so considerate of you that way. We also have a couple of questions. A couple of people have asked about your interest in travel. Do you have favorite places that you have traveled or that you wish to travel to?
I went a little over a year ago to Paris, where I had never been before. I'd never been to Paris, and I loved it. There are a lot of places in Europe that I haven't been that I would love to go. And I was just talking to a friend today online who lives in Iceland. I would love to go to Iceland and visit there too.
Cool.
I'm double checking.
I hear the Far East is really beautiful too. So I put that on my list for someday as well, to like Japan maybe.
That'll be fun. Let's see. I do see another question from Fletcher. What was the episode that you most enjoyed of season 2, and whom did you learn the most from of the actors that you did talk to about? Talk to, not talk about. The actors you talked to.
Give me the question one more time. What was my favorite episode of the show so far?
Of season 2, yeah. And whom out of the actors that you met, whom did you learn the most from on set?
Well, I've talked to Trammell more than anyone else. So I would say Trammell.
You have a favorite season 2 episode?
I really like the episode just last week or the week before when they go on the outing. I like that a lot because it was so different from the rest of the show.
That's fair.
And they all wore belt buckles with my face on them. How could I not like it? But you really did.
Yeah, that's.
And the marshmallows had my face on them.
They did. Yeah, they need to give those to you. But you know what? Now you know, like, you need to get a picture printed and make your own marshmallows to have when you have like a party or something. You know, give out marshmallows to people with your face.
Actually, someone I forget who it was, but someone mentioned to me that those marshmallows were like individually hand painted. It wasn't like a stamp or something. Someone painted my face on all those marshmallows. They have great prop people.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I assumed that it was
people who can do virtually anything.
All right. Well, we don't want to keep you forever, and now people are just kind of asking really random questions.
Oh, give me a random one. I want to answer a random one.
Okay. Lisa says animatronic tour or pots and brooms.
She said what?
Animatronic tour or pots and brooms, because they had mentioned that some of them had animatronic Kiers and some of them had plates and brooms with the faces of the different Egans.
I would say animatronic. I mean, why would I don't want to see a pot and broom version of me. I wouldn't even want to keep that.
That's fair.
They can keep the pot and broom version.
And I have no idea what this band even is. Something Doc asks is random. Are you a fan of Charles' band of Full Moon Features? I've never heard of that band, so I don't know.
No, that's a film. He's a film.
Full Moon Features is a horror movie company.
Yeah.
I've seen many Full Moon Features films.
Oh, okay. See, now I sound dumb. I thought it was a band. I read that a band of Full Moon. Okay, I see now. That makes more sense.
No, they do. They're sort of like they make a lot of horror movies, but they're a bit of a sort of like a B movie kind, right? They're not prestige horror. They're
to the best of my knowledge, the experience I've had with Full Moon is they're usually either on DVD or on streaming.
Yeah, like direct to streaming.
In theaters that often, to the best of my knowledge.
Like the Sharknado type. Got it. Let's see. Okay, All City says 8-bit Kier or claymation Kier.
What was the first? Oh, 8-bit Kier or claymation Kier? I'll take claymation Kier.
Okay.
I want that too. Speaking of things to keep, I would love claymation Kier as well.
I was gonna say, I don't know you could take the 8-bit one, but yeah, that'd be cool.
The 8-bit Kier is fun though. I like 8-bit Kier. Now, 8-bit Kier is the only Kier voice that's not my voice. That's Ben's voice. And the rationale behind that was that when it would have been recorded, I would have been long dead, so that they hired an actor to sound like Kier. And that's why Ben.
That makes sense. How did you feel when you found out that the Lumen video was narrated by Keanu Reeves? That was a strange thing.
Yeah, I think I found that out the same time everybody else found that out. I thought that was really interesting, and I thought he did a great job. It sounded great. Yeah.
Let's see. Did Kier originally have good intentions? That's again your opinion. Do you think he was a good guy?
I don't know it yet.
You don't know enough yet. That's fair. That's fair.
Though I think Dieter was lovely. One little mistake.
Yeah.
Look at Scarlett. You mean there aren't any wax cylinders with Kier's voice on them?
There aren't any what?
Wax cylinders with Kier's voice on them.
Well,
Like old
it's
recordings.
funny you said that, because when we were recording the Perpetuity Wing, and also when we were recording the recent thing about Dieter, that's what Ben wanted it to sound like an old Thomas Edison recording, scratchy. They wanted the Kier voice to be very old and dying, but they also wanted the recordings to sound like they were on some kind of gramophone or wax recording thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do too. And it's one thing that we fans know, that everything that we see and hear on the show is very intentional. There's nothing that's not really thought well out in advance.
I would agree with that.
Let's see. I'm looking through some are comments. Let's see. I think we got everything. Did you miss?
The nice thing about it being intentional is that Dan Erickson, who created the show, wrote the whole thing. It's not like they're guessing as they go along. Dan wrote the entire series. He knows.
He has an end goal then.
Yeah, he knows what the end game is for everything.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense, and everything is very intentional.
Yeah, it definitely seems like everything. So many things. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of them don't have meaning, but it seems like everything.
I mean, it takes a long time, as you know. Between seasons, it took 3 years this time. But aside from the fact that we had, the actors strike and a bunch of other things, and COVID during the first season, it's so specific and so detailed and so thought out that it really does take a long time, because it's so specific, and they really do take every single thing into consideration.
It's nice. It's a very different approach from the days when the old network model, when they would just force a show to make more and more episodes to sell more ads to make more money, right?
Exactly.
And there are a few shows that famously suffered for it or pushed back against it, right?
And since Kier is dead, I can't age out, no matter how long it goes on. I can't get too old.
No, that's right. You can't. You have some job security there. You can't be
dying.
Yeah.
They can use my body.
This is another thing. Again, it's gonna have to be your opinion, because I know you can't answer. But Fletcher says, "Do you think there's actually a board that Natalie's speaking to?"
It seems like there's somebody there. In one episode at the end of season 1, we heard a voice.
We did.
So we don't know how many people. We heard one voice. Right?
We don't know who it is or how many there are, but we definitely heard something. And it'd be kind of an elaborate ruse if there was no one there.
True.
Maybe Natalie's the board. Maybe she's making the whole thing up and she's in charge.
Yeah, we've had that theory too. So I think there's theories with everything.
Natalie's kind of like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right. Fletcher, you're asking why I'm not on the camera. I have the flu, Fletch. Thank you for asking.
She's sick, Fletcher.
I'm sick. I don't want my runny eyes and nose on the screen today, but thank you.
Do you have anything else, Karen? I think
I think this has been a great conversation. I really
it lasted a lot longer than we expected, so we appreciate you staying. Thank you for your time, and if people have more, you're welcome to come back after the finale and
I'd be happy. If people have more questions, I'd be happy to come back.
Okay, great. Well, we welcome that. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for the great questions. Make sure that you tune into our show on Saturday night, where we'll break down the newest episode. There's going to be a lot for episode 7, that's for sure.
Yep.
Thank you for coming.
Yep. Make sure you like and subscribe our channel, and make sure you guys follow Marc on Instagram.
Yes, do that. And also, I believe that let me say I don't want to say the wrong thing. But my Discord's not working. It's not listening to me. Hold on.
Oh, Jamie was going to pop.
I was going to say. I think Real Enigmas is having their Severance thing here. Actually, they may have already started. So they've got a Severance thing going on tonight too. Lots of stuff tonight since the episode premieres tonight. but our stream is Saturday. But yes, thank you for coming. Thank you everybody for the great questions, and
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate it.
thank you guys. All right, well, have a good night, everybody.
You
See you
too.
now.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.